Welcome, 8th graders, to today's Explainer. I am so pumped to be your guide because, well, we're going to do something absolutely incredible today. We are going to become word detectives. You know that feeling when you're reading a textbook? You hit a massive, complicated word and your brain just kind of freezes up? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, today we're going to fix that. We'll learn how to completely dismantle those huge words, figure out exactly how they're built, and unlock their hidden meanings. We're looking at the divine architecture of words, focusing on syllables and origins. Okay, let's dive into this.
Now, I want to start our investigation with a really foundational idea. It comes from Psalm 119, verse 130. It says, "The unfolding of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple." Just think about that for a second. When you unfold a word, when you break it wide open and look inside, it literally gives light to your mind. Words aren't just random letters smashed together. They are incredibly powerful tools. But just like any powerful tool, you got to learn how to wield it properly to actually get that light and understanding.
So here is our exact game plan to build our Codebreaker toolkit today. First, the light of words. Second, mastering syllable division. Third, unlocking word origins. Then, 4, putting the pieces together. 5 is the homework challenge. And finally, 6, education rooted in morality.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the light of words, the building blocks of communication. Like we talked about, hitting those massive words can be super frustrating, but this explainer is exactly how we're going to solve that problem once and for all.
Moving right along to section 2, mastering syllable division, slicing words for success. It's time for the training phase where we get the very first tool for our Codebreaker kit.
That first tool is the technique of slicing, or what we call syllabication. Basically, syllabication is the way words are split into units of sound, and the golden rule here is that each unit has to have a vowel sound. Now, why do we do this? It's all to aid your reading fluency, your spelling, and your pronunciation. Let's go back to our architecture metaphor for a second. Think of syllables as the physical bricks that build a word. I mean, you wouldn't try to swallow a whole brick wall, right? No way. You look at it brick by brick. Syllabication tells you exactly where the mortar is so you can pull the word apart cleanly.
Let's try it out with a word we use literally every single day. Step 1, calm. Step 2, pa. Step 3, ter. Hear how deliberate that is? Calm, pa, ter. Breaking it into these 3 distinct sound units makes reading it aloud so much smoother. Your brain gets to process 3 small, super easy chunks instead of one long, confusing string of 8 letters.
Okay, let's scale up the difficulty a bit with the word electricity. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it completely removes the intimidation factor. It looks kind of scary at first glance, but listen to our slices. E-lec-tric-I-T. By slicing this 5-syllable word into these distinct little units, that fear factor just vanishes. If you can spell E, lec, trick, I, and T, well, you can flawlessly spell and pronounce electricity every single time. Slicing gives you control. Next up, section 3, unlocking word origins, finding the blueprints. This brings us to the second major technique in our toolkit, tracing.
See, if syllables are the physical bricks, word origins are the architectural blueprints that tell us exactly why those bricks were put there in the first place. We call this study etymology, which is just a fancy way of saying a word's origin and history. English is essentially a giant melting pot of a language. It borrows heavily from Greek, Latin, French, German, the whole shebang. So etymology acts as our ultimate detective tool. It reveals all these historical clues so we can build a network of meaning, connecting totally new, unknown words to words we already understand.
Let's look at a classic example. Take the ancient Greek root tele, which means far, and combine it with phone, meaning sound. Put them together, and boom, you get our modern word telephone. By knowing those Greek blueprints, you actually know the literal definition of the word, a device that allows you to hear a faraway sound. It makes perfect, logical sense when you see the history behind it, doesn't it?
And this brilliantly illustrates the power of pattern recognition. On this table, we have biology, built from bio, meaning life, and logi, meaning the study of. So biology is the study of life. Right below that, we have chronology, built from chronos, meaning time, and that exact same root logi, the study of time. So zoom out for a second and think about this. Once you learn that logi means the study of, you instantly have the key to unlock geology, meteorology, psychology, and dozens of other words without ever having to crack open a dictionary. One root literally unlocks an entire network.
Now we are moving to section 4, putting the pieces together, becoming a master word detective.
This right here is the mastery phase, where we combine everything.
Let's combine our slicing technique, syllabication, with our tracing technique, etymology, on the word transport. First, we slice it, port. Nice and easy to read, easy to spell. Now, let's trace the blueprints. It comes from the Latin root trans, meaning across, and portare, meaning to carry. So transport literally means to carry across. When you combine the physical slicing of the syllables with the historical meaning of those Latin roots, that word is completely solidified in your memory. You own that word now.
Let's move on to Section 5, the homework challenge. Test your new superpower. It's time to put your skills to the ultimate test.
We've built your toolkit, we've practiced on some great examples, and now, well, I have a mission for you to tackle on your own. Here are your 5 missions for today. Number 1, define syllabication and its importance for reading. 2, use your slicing tool to break celebration into syllables. 3, what is the meaning of the Greek root chron and its link to chronology? 4, find your own example of a Latin origin word and explain its meaning. And 5, explain how origin knowledge helps your spelling. I highly encourage you to pause this explainer right here, grab your notebook, and write down these 5 questions so you can really flex those new word detective muscles.
And finally, Section 6, education rooted in morality, using your words wisely. We've spent all this time making your mind sharper and giving you a really powerful new vocabulary toolkit. But we have to ask ourselves, what do we actually do with that power? Proverbs 15:23 tells us, "A person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word." You see, the words you speak are tools given to you by God. They aren't meant to be used to show off how smart you are, or to boast, or to make others feel small just because they don't know the big words you know. Rather, they're designed to build others up, to teach truth clearly, and to encourage someone right when they need it most. A timely word is a truly beautiful thing. This perfectly captures the philosophy of the HeroesmartAcademy Godly Learner series. We intertwine biblical morality with education, because, simply put, education without morality will hurt. You could have all the vocabulary in the world, but if your choices aren't guided by a strong moral compass, you'll end up hurting yourself and the people around you. True peace of mind, as promised in Romans 8:6-7, comes to those who keep their minds spiritual and pair their bright, educated minds with good moral choices.
Which brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with today. What good is a smart mind if it makes choices that hurt? As you practice your syllable slicing, as you uncover those ancient Greek and Latin blueprints, and as your vocabulary grows stronger and stronger day by day, remember the ultimate purpose of your education. Build your mind so that you can go out into the world and use those brilliant words to help, to heal, and to bring light. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, Word Detectives. Get to work on that homework challenge, and I'll catch you next time.